Hello everyone, hope you're all safe and well. Welcome to this program, Read Your Bible Through in a Year. And today we are on day 17. And today's readings will be from the Old Testament. In the book of Deuteronomy, we will be reading chapters 11, 12, and 13. And in the New Testament, we are still in Gospel of St. Mark, chapter 12, verses 1 through to 27. Before we proceed to today's reading, if you haven't registered for this or subscribed for this YouTube channel, please do subscribe and don't forget to click on the bell icon so you will receive reminders and notifications. And also, if you have missed any of my previous days' teachings, you can always click on the link top right hand corner of the YouTube screen and you will be able to go back and listen to my teachings and explanations to the everyday's reading. Okay, let's go on to today's readings from the book of Deuteronomy, chapters 11, 12, and 13. As I told you, we are continuing with the second discourse of Moses. It's more or less a recap, actually. In the chapter 11, we will be reading about how to love God, how important it is to love God and obey His commandments. It constantly says, how important it is to love your God, the Lord your God, with all your heart and might, etc. It wants, observe, like verses 8, it says, observe therefore all the commandments I'm giving you today. Then again in verse 16 we read, be careful, Lord, you will be enticed to turn away and worship other gods. So it not only tells you the importance of loving God or obeying His commandments, but it asks you to be strong and be careful, because as I told you, this was just few months before the the people of Israel go into the promised land. So it's more or less, this discourse is a sort of warning for them. It's a final warning throughout their journey to this place. They have undergone so many struggles and difficulties, and God had saved them. But now Moses kind of summarizes prepares them. Look, when you go into the land, these all things are happening. So like Leviticus and all the previous books, we read the law of the Lord. But here, especially in Deuteronomy, it's a recap. Moses is recapping, like for example, chapter 11 verses 13. So if you faithfully obey the commandments I give you today, to love the Lord your God and serve Him with all your hearts and with all your mind, the soul, etc. It's a recap of the commandments, how important. And also in the verses 22 we read, if you carefully observe all these things I'm giving you to follow, to love the Lord your God and to walk in His ways. Again in verses 26, see, I'm setting before you today a blessing and a curse. So you're given the option. So God sets in front of both a blessing and a curse. Curse, the commandments of the Lord that I am giving you today, the curse if you disobey the commandments of the Lord your God and turn away from saying. Then in chapter 12 we read about the place of worship and how you have to give the offerings, etc. And in chapter 13 we read about worshiping other gods. What happens if you are going to worship other gods? So especially when you go to the promised land, you have already some people there, so they will be worshiping other gods. So don't get involved, don't get carried away by those gods. They are false gods, etc. So these are the things which we read in chapter 13 of Deuteronomy. So it's a constant reminder for the people of Israel. Moses is warning them, look, don't get carried away. If your heart is set about one of the towns Lord your God is giving you to live in, that wicked men have risen among you and have led the people of their town astray, saying, let's go and worship, then you must inquire, probe and investigate it thoroughly. So he sort of warns. So we are going to Canaan, and if the Canaanites say, come, why are you worshiping this God? Come, let's worship our God. So they have to inquire lawyer. They have to find, okay, whether this is correct or wrong. So he gives a series of commandments, like, advice, I would say, not a commandment. And if it is true and it has been proved that this is detestable thing has been done among you, you must certainly put to the sword all the people who have done this. So they should be very careful being misled, etc. So this is about what we read in chapter 13. In the New Testament, we are still in Gospel according to Mark, the first part of the chapter 12. Verses 1 through to 27. Here again, very occasionally do we read the teachings of Jesus. Here in chapter 12, there is a series of teachings. Again, the parable of a tenant. Like the man planted a vineyard, he put up his wall and he dug around them, he sent the servants and they killed him, etc. And he talks about this parable, at the end he sends his own son, thinking that they will respect him, but they come and kill him. And also the question of paying tax to the Caesar. Again, the Pharisees and Herodians, they come to test Jesus. Okay, whom do we pay the tax to? Is it right to pay tax to the Caesar or not? Immediately, but Jesus knew their hypocrisy. Why are you trying to trap? Bring me a denarii. And it says, whose portrait do you see? They say, it is Caesar. So what says, pay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and what do you need to pay to God? You need to pay to God. Again, marriage, they question him. Again, the Sadducees, the Sadducees don't believe in the resurrection, who say there is no resurrection. So you have two. One is the Pharisees and the Sadducees. The Pharisees do believe in resurrection. The Sadducees don't believe in the resurrection. Now they come and ask the question. They want to test him. So a man marries and he dies without the children, and the first one marries and dies like 7 brothers according to the law. If the elder brother dies without a son, heir, then the younger brother, like that, all the 7 at the resurrection. The Sadducees don't believe in the resurrection, but they question, okay, let's say if there is a resurrection, and whose wife will she be in the resurrection? He says there's no marriage in resurrection. So there are lots of things that is being discussed here about the Pharisees and Sadducees. They try to trap him, but the clever way Jesus replies to them, it's very important here. So that's the reading for today. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for watching this. Hope you're enjoying this, and it's been a blessing. If you have done so, please share this link with your friends and family so they will be blessed as well. Until I see you tomorrow, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless. Goodbye.